It is match day. Well, actually, who am I kidding? It's not match day. It's considerably before match day. We're going to pretend it's match day. So, got Gonzo Senior here. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm feeling bright and breezy. This remarkably wide awake considering what time in the morning it is actually, and very much looking forward to the game today against Manchester City. Normally, I'd be dumping it, quite frankly. But am I wrong to have a little bit of hope for this?
It depends, doesn't it? Are we going to get the typical David Moyes cautious approach, let's not lose, or is he going to take a slight leaf out of Gareth Southgate's book and
pick people that don't play football?
And hopefully he'll give Paqueta the ability to roam a bit rather than, let... No.
So Gareth Southgate has selected Lucas Paqueta. It didn't take long because they said he couldn't play for Brazil, and now Southgate's picked him. It's unbelievable. Mind you, it's an improvement on Jordan Henderson, isn't it?
Absolutely. Anybody's an improvement on Jordan Henderson, except for Harry Maguire, perhaps. But then, who knows? If we go back to last season, we played Man City first game of the season. It was Haaland's debut. And what did we do? We basically not only did we lose, but we were scared of Man City. And every time we've played Man City virtually in the David Moyes era, Moyes has been scared of City, never had a go at them. And I think the one time when you can have a go at Man City is after an international break or after the European games, potentially, when players are coming back and they haven't had the full week training in the club atmosphere. Now, we've lost some players, but we haven't lost as many key players to international duty as other clubs. So Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, Zuma, who are probably our three key players, you would say, they've all been resting for the last 10 days. So whereas Haaland, I think, has played 2 full games for Norway. Grealish is injured. Foden has been away with England. De Bruyne is injured. So hopefully we should have a reasonable chance at Man City, providing we're not too cautious.
But don't you think we're better, even though I take what you say about David Moyes, and you're right, don't you think that we are now better equipped to play that style? So actually, if what he wants to do is keep it tight, we actually look more capable of keeping it tight. And then if we do get a corner or something like that, it may well be that we're actually he's got the personnel now that better suit David Moyes' own tactics. Yeah,
no, I've got to agree. I mean, Ward-Prowse's delivery is sensational. Agurd and Zuma are both very good at attacking the ball in corner and free kick situations. You've also got Souček. I think we are much better placed than we were this time last year. But I do think Moyes typically pays too much respect to the big 6 clubs, and I think he's almost in awe of Guardiola and Klopp. But, I'm hopeful. Whereas this time last year, I was scared.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it was the first game of the season, as you rightly say. So at least we've had a little bit of a time. I remember David Moyes saying after that game, he wasn't expecting that from Manchester City. They surprised me how they played. So I guess you're not going to have that element of surprise anyway. I can't remember. Have you done a video recently, or was it just us talking on the phone about James Ward-Prowse?
No, I've done a video, but not particularly about Ward-Prowse. But yeah, I've always been a fan of Ward-Prowse. I think he's got much better technical ability than most people give him credit for. Yeah, I remember having that discussion distinctly with you when we signed him. Last year he was playing in a very, very poor side, and he was, he was trying to drag them basically into 17th place, and he didn't quite manage it. But he could not be blamed for their relegation. He never gave up. He very rarely gets injured. I think he's only missed something like 2 games in the last 5 years, and I think one of those was down to suspension. And he plays every minute of every game. Whether he won't do that for us, I don't think, or I hope not, because I think we'll use him wisely. I still think he'll play the majority of the minutes and the majority of the games.
And what have you made of Edson Alvarez thus far?
Incredibly promising. He looks like he's got a real brain about him. He seems to be able to do most things pretty well, and most of all, he seems to be an intelligent footballer. I think he's a really, really good acquisition. I really enjoy watching what I've seen so far. Again, unfortunately, I haven't seen him in the flesh. I'm hoping to see not this game, but the Newcastle game, and I'll be very interested to see him in the flesh.
Oh, you think you get tickets for that, dear?
I'm hopeful.
Excellent. Excellent. There we go. I mean, one player you did mention, you didn't mention, you talked about players getting a rest during the international break. Was another one is Jared Bowen, who would have had the same amount of rest, albeit as much rest as you can get when you've got very, very young twins. I'm sure he was changing nappies and whatnot, but he's had a rest from the football, certainly. He's been in fine form, right? Do you think that gives us a good chance against Man City if we, a cheeky goal on the break?
Well, not only does it give us a good chance and him a good chance, but the thing is, he's now got something to prove, and he's got people looking at him. He already knows Liverpool are interested in him, and why couldn't Man City be interested in him as well? He's started really, really well. I mean, his touch for the goal where Ben Rama crossed it was absolutely sensational. I mean, I can't think of anyone who would have done that better. The way he killed that ball and then just slid it into the far corner was absolutely sensational. And to me, he should have won goal of the month for that. The Mitoma thing, nobody actually challenged Mitoma. He walks through 4 or 5 half-hearted challenges. It wasn't, to me, such an impressive goal. But
I could have scored that.
Yeah, possibly.
I think so. I mean, what was impressive of Bowen as well, it wasn't his only good first touch of the game. Actually, just as he laid in Mikel Antonio, the way he controlled the ball on the touchline in that same game, that ball was absolutely going out of play and at quite a height, and he sort of killed that dead as well. And then maybe he's been working on his first touch. So, have you got any hopes at all for today, or are you just thinking Moyes will just be too negative and we won't get anything?
We have got some hope. There's no doubt about it. I think the Soufal situation is key. I think if he's reasonably fit and playing, I think that'll help us. If he's not there,
I think he will be.
I certainly hope he will be. So that would be my biggest concern. If he's playing, I think we've got a very good chance, but I do worry about Moyes' conservative approach. I hope that he has learned a potential lesson from what Southgate did with England by releasing Bellingham rather than tying Bellingham down. And if we do the same with Paqueta, I think we might get the same gains from it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, thank you very much for your insight. I guess a score prediction. Might as well.
1-1.
Oh, very good. You haven't watched that preview yet with me and Joe, have you?
No.
Okay. I'm going to stick with what I said on there. I'm going with 2-1, and that's despite with the added knowledge of a couple of extra days. Bearing in mind it's Saturday morning, and I know a lot of the team news by now, and what everyone's been doing in training, and having listened to David Moyes' press conference. There you go. Good.
Funny you haven't mentioned anything about those though.
Yeah, I know. Well, do you know what? It was such a boring press conference. I can't even
Doesn't give much away, does he?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. That's sort of dour expression that he gives there. And it's not worth talking about. So thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning. Not long. Excited now. Not long to go until the game, is it, mate?
No sleeps.
Absolutely, no sleeps. There you go. Enjoy the game. Myself and Gio will be here. Well, I think we've got an hour and 5 minutes before kickoff, so 3:00 kickoff today. So we'll be with you at 1:55 today. And we'll do a little cheeky bet. Let you know exactly what the starting lineups are, because we clearly don't know them now. And hopefully there'll be no naughtiness or injuries to report or anything like that. You, my friend, will have to come back and join us next week, and we'll dissect the game again, or we'll do a little build up to the European game or something.
Okie dokie.
Cheers, mate.
See ya.